Hey guys, what's up? My name is Optimus Tom with GG Chronicle over at ggc.leaguecraft.com, and I am here today to talk to you about this pretty awesome website we're invited to go check out called EloBuff.com. Now, we have a lot of articles on the website you can check out describing all the in-depth features and statistics of EloBuff, but I'm here to show you a video. I'll show you some of the cooler and a little more stalkerish things you could do once you get your hands on full swing with EloBuff.com. Right from the get-go, you can see that it's going to be giving you a suggested list of champions to follow, as well as top summoners and friends of yours that it'll let you get into your account. What it does is, in order to do this, you add your summoner name. It'll give you, well, actually, it won't let me go any further now, but you add your summoner name, you click on step 2, and it lets you put a code into one of your rune pages, and then it's really awesome because after all that is done, you're actually able to, just follow your interest. It'll give you friends and suggestions. Like you saw, you had champions and you had players that you could follow to give yourself updates on. So whenever they do something cool, it'll notify you through an email or on the website itself in your account over here. But aside from that, you also are able to just click on champions, such as Fiddlesticks, and you'll get an entire overview for what the champion looks like and what people may be playing him as, like an AP carry, a jungler, an AP bruiser, or even sometimes a support character. It'll actually give you a breakdown of who the champion has the most wins and the least wins against. It then also brings you into a breakdown of your control effects, the top summoner spells used on them, and top ranked players that will be playing the character and their scores with the character. So really, really awesome things when you could break it down. You'll also be able to see as an overview out of every single game being played since EloBuff.com was made. These are the champions that will work best with Fiddlesticks or work worst against Fiddlesticks. See, these are Fiddlesticks' percentage chance to win when he's playing against certain champions. So right now, if Fiddlesticks is playing against a Karma, he has a pretty awesome win rate. Where on the flip side, if Fiddlesticks is playing against a Blitzcrank, his win rate's pretty ass terrible. You can also therefore click on a Synergies tab, so you can see if Fiddlesticks is on a team with this character, who he has the higher % win rate with. Right now, Fiddlesticks has a pretty high win rate percentage if he has any of these 3 support characters on his team. On the flip side, though, if he's wound up actually matching up with a Ziggs, a LeBlanc, or a Gragas, your chances of winning with Fiddlesticks are not actually that high. They're actually better off with Evelyn. And one of the cool things you could do too is you can click on, or not even click on, but just hover over these champions, and it'll tell you what place they are in the most played characters list. Like you can see Evelyn is the 97th most played overall champion, and it also gives you a brief summary of what their basic roles are and their overall win percentage on Summoner's Rift out of all the players. Meanwhile, you could see that Janna is the second most played overall champion with a 54.44% win rate, and she's usually played as just a range support character because of this. You also then get to check out some awesome awesome performances from top level players such as Alex Ick, Samaro X, Mach. You can see a Zingy, of course, the solo middle Fiddlesticks player. And then it gives you these cool little charts that break everything down. If you hover over, you can see these players are playing them as an ability power character with a little bit of tankitude because of all the rest of their item build. And you would just be able to scroll down and see that most of them are doing the same exact thing. No one's exactly building an AD carry Fiddlesticks, but some people may be getting more ability power than tankiness, or some people may be sacrificing some AP for a little bit more of a support build because of these GP10 items, and maybe a little bit more tankiness because of it. You can also see what they actually labeled on. Like this person was playing it as an AP carry, whereas this character may be more considered a AP bruiser jungle, because towards the end of the game, it looks like they picked themselves up a Thornmail. So it's very cool just to see the breakdown of what actual players are doing with these champions, and what you can do because of it. The awesome part of EloBuff.com, though, is you get to stalk your favorite pro players, too. For example, say I want to overview Alex Ick. What I can do is I can see how many games he's played since EloBuff has been active in the following roles. This also will tell you his win percentage with these roles and how many games he's played them in out of all the games he's played since EloBuff.com has gone up. According to this, Alex Ick should probably be playing a bruiser character because he has 75.61% of his win percentage. But then again, he has 242 games as that AP carry middle lane, where he has a very nice 63.22% win rate because of this. You can also see his most played champions list. These are the characters you're going to be seeing him play most often. 41 games with Rise, 31 with Vladimir, and 25 is Twisted Fate. If you are an opposing pro player, you could go into EloBuff.com, akin to what the recently played games list used to be in StarCraft 2, and you could see the breakdown of these champions. The cool thing is, too, if you were to click on the details of Alex X's Rise, once the website loads for me, you'll actually be able to see what role he plays as them in the most often of these games, his past couple games and what they were: Dominion, a custom game, a team rank, the solo queue, all these different things. You could also see what summoner spells he's most likely to get on him and what his most frequently bought items are on Rise. So out of all those 42 games, whatever is Rise that he played, he had 32 of them he got a Tear of the Goddess. Out of those 32 games, 75% of the time he won when he bought a Tear of the Goddess. This is a very awesome tool because it lets you know if you're trying to experiment with new builds and you just spam a lot of these in solo queue or you spam them in your ranked matches, you're able to see what items are actually performing better than the other ones. For example, this Tear of the Goddess is a 75% win rate out of 32 games, which is awesome. But if you look at the 16 games to be able to turn his Glacial Shroud into a Frozen Heart, he's won 93.75% of them. He has a higher win rate when he finishes his Frozen Heart than when he just gets the Glacial Shroud at 72.73%, which is really awesome because you have such an in-depth breakdown out of all of this just by clicking on a person's name and taking a look. You can see here that 41 games played with Rise. He has a total win rate of 73.17%. His average KDA score is a positive 5.61. He has about 10.5k gold per game as Rise and about 184 CS. So this is really cool because you'll be able to get an average of what these pros are playing and what they're going to be getting on these characters. Not only for, a KDA ratio, but keeping up with your CS, keeping up with how much gold you should be making, all these awesome things. We click the back button, it'll bring us back to Alex X's page where we can look at his recent performances. We can then pick, actually see what characters, players he's playing with the most. Apparently, since EloBuff.com has been around, he's played with Diamond Procs 38.67% of the time and won 75.86% of this. This is cool too because you can then click on one of his friends and therefore see what role they were playing in this. Obviously, Diamond is the jungler, so he has the most jungle games played, and we could see who they're playing with. Apparently, they play Gosu Pepper a lot. Well, that makes sense. They're all on the same team after all. But then if you go back to old Alex X's page over here, we could see that he has a lot of normal games, a lot of solo games in ranked queue, a lot of team ranked games, actually 176, and he gives a breakdown percentage. Like, I don't know about you, but Alex X is a Dominion beast, 92.86% win rate on Dominion. Whew, that's only rivaled by his 3 vs 3 ranked match score at 91.67%. So it gives you all these unnecessary statistics on top of really good statistics too. You can also break down and be like, oh, okay, well, let's see how many games he's won as a tank character, how many he's won as a bruiser, and awesome things like that. Aside from this, you can also stalk your friends on EloBuff.com. I was actually taking a look at my friend Druidic Dwarf from Optimus Tom TV and taking a look at his support Yorick build and why he plays Yorick so much and why he never wins with Yorick. And now we know why. But you could also take a look at his mastery pages straight from here, his rune pages, the previous games that he's played in, and how long ago they were. So you could see Druidic Dwarf plays an interesting foray of characters in League of Legends. You also look at the synergies. Like, if you play with these people often, you could see what teams they're going to be winning with if you're on their team. For example, if I were Vladimir, Malphite, or Jax in any of Druidic Dwarf's games, he's won the most times when he has these characters on his team. However, if I were Taric, Malzahar, Ezreal, Wukong, Nunu, Fizz, Karthus, Urgot, Ryze, Olaf, Xinjiao, Nocturne, Riven, Caitlyn. If I were any of these really, really large amount of characters, you would know that you were not winning these games and maybe something might be changed. This is really cool, especially if you're looking at someone like, for instance, my friend Chaz here, Druidic Dwarf, plays a lot of support characters. I can then see that, oh, okay, well, out of all the range carries he's paired with, he does best with Vayne. But he does terrible if you're working with an Ezreal, an Urgot, or a Caitlyn. So maybe he's not going to be well enough to play with those kinds of champions. Maybe he needs to have a different kind of carry in his bottom lane. like maybe a Varus, who he hasn't won a lot with, but he's done a lot better than with a Caitlyn or an Ezreal or an Urgot in his lane. So it helps you guys play together more often, as well as those people that are going to be doing ranked buys and team matches. It lets you, break everything down so you guys can just see who's winning and who's not winning. It's really cool. You can then also click on his friends tab. You can see like, oh, well, look at this, Optimus Tom. Well, good thing I have my page pulled up already. And you can see your own statistics too. You can see who you're winning games with. You can see your overall lifetime statistics, and you can see what roles you're playing and which ones you're winning with. Like apparently, if I go AP Bruiser, I win all the time. So if every game I play with Galio since EloBuff has been up, my entire one game, I've won it. I can then click on this build and go into details of, okay, well, when I play with Galio, what items do I get and why do I get them? Well, first off, you can see here I played a Dominion game about a month ago, and I lost it because I was Galio. Meanwhile, about a month ago, I won a normal game with Galio, and we could see the item build. Well, both of these games, I got Chalice of Harmony. Both of these games, I got Mercury Treads. One of these games, I got Rod of Ages, Abyssal Scepter, Banshee's Veil, and Needlessly Large Rod. And the other one, I got a Void Staff, which was clearly the Dominion game because I lost it. Whereas these games, I were the normal game because I won it. I also can see here that I've been running Ignite and Flash a lot on my Galio, which is pretty cool. I could then click on the counters to this champion and figure out, well, if I play against a Morgana, I'm decimating her. But if I'm playing against a Twisted Fate, he's kicking my ass. So we could know which characters are good and which ones are bad to play against, and I could work on those matchups. I could then also see who my teammates are playing and know where to fit them in a team. This is the point in time where I'd like to point out that one of the characters I have the least wins with on my team is Poppy, because she's an utterly useless champion and should be removed from League of Legends. Well, apparently I clicked on Renekton. But I could go back to my overview, and once again, I could continue to break down my roles and figure out what these people do and how they can help me out. Aside from this, I can click on the Tournament Games tab, and I could see in these tournament games TSM against CLG. Well, we know what this one was from April 9th. We could break it down and see their overall statistics, check out their gold, and then click on the player and figure out what they were doing. Or I could click on the champion and figure out what the champion was doing in the game. It's also really cool because when you click on a champion and go to the overview here, you get to see what the most frequently bought items on this character are throughout all the players on League of Legends. So it's not just St. Vicious who's going to be going for a Wit's End, Wriggle's Lantern, Frozen Mallet on his Shyvana. This is the most popular overall. Whereas, a lot of people, 31,063 summoners, are going to be playing Jungle Shyvana with most likely Smite and Exhaust, as opposed to those that might be going Exhaust and Flash in a top lane where there's only 9,001, which is just slightly over 9,000, guys, where you're going to be able to see those people playing Shyvana in the top lane. So all these statistics are really cool. Not to mention, you can check out rankings of different champions, just the overview. You can break down by champion and see, what's percent physical, what's percent magic damage, which is something else you could check out whenever you check out your friends' pages. You could rank their champions as to who's dealing the most damage, who has the most lifesteal, who has the most tenacity, all that awesome stuff. But you could also, therefore, break down into the forums, where you could go into your general forums where there's a lot of discussion about EloBuff. It's also like questions like, does EloBuff start tracking stats as soon as I join? How do my friends get involved with this? Why can I see some friends and why can't I see? What stat features do you use the most? And just general discussion questions throughout the entirety of EloBuff. There's also a feedback forum to let you guys go in and report any bugs you do see in EloBuff.com. Like, for example, if it says you've played 16 games as Evelynn and you've never touched her in your life, then of course that's a bug in EloBuff and they're recording it as the wrong champion. So really cool to report any of those bugs because they help fix things out and it helps prevent bad statistics. Because if you have bad statistics, you're only throwing yourself as well as your peers off in your game. It also has a list of streams, people currently streaming, as well as offline streams. It's really cool because it keeps track of what champions they've just played most recently. For example, Odd One here, with his ranking and everything, has just won a game as Jarvan about 4 hours ago. That's really cool. Meanwhile, Garzman Bob not having the best of luck with Varus. 18 minutes ago, he lost. But it also keeps track of how many games they played in a week, which is really cool because, well, you get to see who plays the most and actually who gets a more win percentage because of that. It also will tell you how many viewers are viewing. You can also go to the offline streams in case you're trying to find a specific pro, which would be, easier if you just want to type it in the search box up here. You could find them. Or you could just see whose stream is, recently offline, why they're offline, and stuff like that. Muffin Cutie apparently went offline 8 minutes ago after he played the game as Leona and maybe rage quit. We don't know. We know Ocelot went offline 3 hours ago after a win with Anivia. And you can just click on their stream and go to it. It brings you to their twitch.tv page. Actually puts it into a pop-out, which is cool. Like, I just clicked on Void Boy right here, so now I have a pop-out. So I could go back to EloBuff, or I could take this and I could move it to somewhere else on my screen, which is really, really cool. That is an overview of EloBuff.com, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get involved in this as soon as possible. Add your summoner name, whatever region you are in, and get started to tracking your ELO as well as other statistics. Once again, guys, my name is Optimus Tom. I'm doing this report for GG Chronicle over at ggc.leaguecraft.com, your #1 destination for anything League of Legends on the internet.